decided that we wanted to do a little Tarantino ranked video. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do, and also those videos on YouTube are kind of fun to watch. We'll just give it a try. We did the Film Brats ranking. I like the ranking stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just fun to do and stuff, and it's just my list, it's just my opinion. You might have a different list. We might differ on things, but this is my list. And
just because like a movie's at the bottom of our list doesn't mean we think it's bad. We like all of these movies. If we were forced to rank them, this is how personally we would rank them. And
yeah, definitely really cool movies for young men like us.
Yeah, I mean, when we're young, yeah. And I get it if he's not for you. I totally get that. But we like him.
Yeah, we're big fans. It's no big secret. And to preface this, we're ranking 10 movies because we're counting Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2 as two different movies. I know Tarantino says, Kill Bill 1 and 2 are one movie. It's just Volume 1, Volume 2. It's all one movie. Well, the movies came out like 2 years in between each other, both volumes. We had to pay twice to go see them. So, you know what, Tarantino? It's fucking 2 movies, bro.
Sorry, Quentin.
For my number 10 pick, I have The Hateful Eight from 2015. It was dope seeing The Hateful Eight when it first came out in 2015. I went to go see it with my stepdad and my grandma. And she had an interesting experience, to say the least. It was a 70mm roadshow version. So originally it was released limited cities across America, and it's a 70mm presentation, which had an overture. And then it had a intermission. So it was like 3.5 hour long movie. The Hateful Eight is a great little murder mystery, Agatha Christie mystery. The Ennio Morricone score, one of his best scores. Ennio Morricone's score in that, I love listening to it. It's the only Tarantino movie where he had an original soundtrack. Takes music from other places and puts in his own movies. He takes scores from other pictures back in the 60s, 70s, puts in his movie. But this time, he was like, no, Ennio Morricone, I'm going to trust you with the soul to my film. And he delivered, because the soundtrack is amazing, especially the first part where it's like, and the overture really sets the mood. It's a really good touch if you went to go see its original release. I do have a couple problems with the picture. One of them, I think he should have reeled it in more with the editing. It's very bloated. It's a very long, bloated film. A lot of dialogue. It's almost like he's kind of blowing himself a little bit with the dialogue. It's a little too much. There could have been some editing with that. There's a couple casting choices that you could tell they were written for someone else.
Like who?
There's this doctor named Oswaldo Mowbray, who's played by Timothy Roth. That role, you can tell, was supposed to be written for
Christopher Walken?
The GOAT, Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz. It's the same. He would have nailed this role. Then the movie that came out after Django Unchained and before that, Inglourious Basterds. Christoph Waltz is probably the most acclaimed, has the 2 best performances out of any Tarantino movie. And you can see that this role was written for that. I just don't think that Timothy's performance really had the caliber to carry such a sophisticated linguistic genius as a Christoph Waltz. That I had a little bit of trouble with. It was a little bit pretentious with that role. And then my final thing, which is probably the most important thing, the ending wasn't that cathartic for me.
Yeah. Compared
to his other pictures. It wasn't as interesting in the end. It was definitely violent, but it just didn't have that kick, that arc, that cathartic purging that I enjoy in most of Tarantino's pictures.
Yeah.
And that's where my flaws lay with the film, and it's at the bottom of the list. But it's still a fun watch. I watch it every year. I watched the extended version on Netflix. I saw it several times in theaters when it came out. Yeah, those are my thoughts. What about you, Jacob? What's your number 10?
Yeah, my number 10 film. Yeah, my number 10 film is Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, that's actually my number 9 pick. So this is interesting. This is a good dialogue. But talk about Kill Bill 2.
So Kill Bill Volume 1, I love a lot. It's so cool. The action's so, it hits. And it leaves you with, a very climactic ending where, she cuts off Lucy Liu's head. That whole fight is just fucking phenomenal. You kind of go to Kill Bill Volume 2, and I feel like the pacing's kind of off. Just didn't have that action feel that I was looking for in the first one. It sucks when there's a sequel and you have to compare something, and the sequel is, worse than the original. Yeah. Because then, the differences really stand out to you. and you can really like compare them side by side.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like not even a sequel because it was all written as one movie and they shot it all as one movie, and it wasn't until Harvey Weinstein was like, "Hey, you're shooting a lot. Like, you're gonna have to cut a lot of this out. Let's make it into 2 volumes." And you get Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. But like I said, number 9 for me, my ranking is Kill Bill 2. It's kind of similar reasons for you. It's like really long. It's not as interesting. The fights aren't as cool, and also the similar flaw that I had with the Hateful Eight is the catharsis in the end. You're ending this saga, and finally she's facing off with Bill, and you're kind of expecting some sort of fight, some sort of big fight scene, and you don't even get it. It's just kind of like a couple punches. Also, there's definitely a reason, like my theory behind why that didn't happen. I'm sure that it was written to be a big fight, but during the production of Kill Bill, there's that controversial footage of Uma Thurman driving and getting into she got into that crash where she got injured, and I think the reason why they weren't able to shoot this big final battle scene is because of that crash, because she was injured. That's just my theory on it. It makes sense.
Yeah, it could make sense, but it could also be, kind of a more mature take on the ending. Which is, they're both growing as like people, and they're growing as like parents, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there is something like, I agree with you. I was expecting like some kind of fight, and that would have been cool because I feel like that would have been really kept with the theme of Kill Bill.
Like, why is your greatest action sequence supposed to be in like the first part of your movie, of your saga? Like,
because
why?
It's supposed to be more of a like melancholic ending, like more of like just kind of like a sad thing. She performs that move on him and kills him, but like it just didn't hit for me. I didn't like the pacing. I felt like the pacing was off.
Yeah,
if we're rating Kill Bill as like one movie, that's gonna be really high on my list. But just because Kill Bill Volume 2 stands alone, I would put it at the bottom. Just because it feels incomplete to me because you don't have that first one.
Yeah, it's just not as good, and it's way like longer than the first one, where it doesn't like need to be. But yeah, what's your number 9 pick?
My number 9 is Hateful Eight. Like you said, I just kind of I felt like the pacing was off. The characters, I didn't like that much. No character really stuck with me. They were all kind of bad people aside from Samuel Jackson. I mean, this is a really good performance from him, but I felt like he kind of had to carry this movie where the other cast I felt like didn't really have a time to shine. I don't like that you feel so claustrophobic in this one thing, but I did like that it was a murder mystery. There were aspects of it that I really did like. I liked the on-set shooting, with the real snow. It looks so fucking amazing when, the beginning when they're driving into this cabin. I like the twists in it where Channing Tatum kind of comes out from under the floor, You really don't see it coming. And I do like the ending where they're hanging her, but at the same time I just couldn't feel I never felt like I really got some kind of satisfaction from that movie.
Number 8 on the ranking is Death Proof from 2007. We talked about it on the channel before. What can we say? It's a tight little exploitation movie. It's got all the bits into it. But the thing of why this ranks higher than Hateful Eight and Kill Bill 2 is the end, the fucking 20-minute chase in the end is so satisfying to watch, bro. Mm-hmm. And that's what I look forward to and stuff. This is the first one on the list where he actually really brings it all the way through. I know that people think that Death Proof is his worst movie, but I really don't think it is his worst movie. I think it's actually really concise. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Gritty little homage to the grindhouses of that period, and it's cool in style and function and characters and dialogue, and it's sick. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I agree with that. Grindhouse and kind of feels a lot more indie. I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah, me too.
Where it feels like the film's all scratched and everything, and it just feels kind of dirty and low production. Something about that is very charming to me, and I felt like there was a complete idea here. He executes it to the best of his abilities. Car scenes are so fucking good. All the practicals on it are fucking amazing. But for what it is, I think it's very worthy for an 8 spot, because I did really enjoy myself watching it. So my number 7 pick, which might be controversial, my number 7 pick is Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
It's a great movie. It has a lot of really, really great parts in it. The writing's fucking amazing. You know, it's his debut. Of course it's going to be, like, really good. This is what got him on the map. This is where people saw what fucking Tarantino can do. And I thought the cast is really good. The way the story plays out is so satisfying. I just like some of his other movies more.
Yeah, I mean, that's also one of the greatest debuts of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He just came out with, like, a bang with this tight script, like one location. Yeah, interesting. But anyways, I'll get into I don't have Reservoir Dogs as number 7. I got Jackie Brown as number 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is his junior effort. It's an adaptation from the Elmer Leonard novel Rum Punch. I like Jackie Brown a lot. I like Jackie Brown. It's a really cool hangout, like sort of like homage to the 70s crime investigative thriller. Pam Grier's amazing. She's hot as fuck in this. She's so cool. Sam Jackson's great. Robert De Niro kind of plays outside of his wheelhouse in this film. Like kind of like this like loser convict guy. You got Bridget Fonda in there. Another movie that he set in LA, but it's like more of this like hangout stoner chill vibe and Hermosa Beach. This caper is going on, and I like the story a lot. I like how he adapted the novel, and I like how she and the character of Jackie Brown is badass. And also we got Robert Forster in there. R.I.P. to him. Medium cool baby. I like how she 2 times the feds and Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
And I love the ending. I love the whole mall sequence and stuff. The way he shows it like 3 different ways. That's very Tarantino, and that's like that time, space, and memory shit that he does. I love it when he brings that to the table because that's really what made him unique.
And that was your number 8 spot?
That was my number 7.
My number 6 is Jackie Brown. I like it a little more than Reservoir Dogs. It kind of like is a little cooler for me. I think Jackie Brown's like a cooler hangout movie. I love the LA, like definitely feels very like Long Beach, Hermosa Beach feel. Like definitely like makes me feel like California is fucking awesome. Like happy I was like live here. Yeah, Pam Grier is like fucking amazing in it. I love that there's like a female lead in a Tarantino film. The supporting cast is fucking amazing. Sam Jackson like plays his ass off in this movie. He's like so good and so like terrifying at the same time. Robert Forster is like really good. You have the dude who plays Batman as the cop too. And
yeah, Michael Keaton, yeah.
Michael Keaton's in it. Robert De Niro's fucking like great in it, just playing this like fucking convict. I really like the movie. It's like a great like fun movie.
For sure. It's a great film. My number 6 pick is Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs, for me, is a very inspiring film because he literally just like wrote this tight-ass script, and originally he was just going to shoot it himself, $30,000 for the money he got from selling True Romance. Yeah, I just think like it's all in the script, baby. This movie's all in the script, and I love the time, space, and memory stuff that he does. I love the linear, non-linear storyline about like how we see this event unfold and the characters and how they reveal themselves. It's just so tight. Yeah, and that, like I said, like the time, space, and memory thing is really what made him unique as a storyteller. I love the scene. My favorite scene in it is probably when he's trying to convince Joe Cabot, the boss, that he's like actually like a criminal, and he tells this crazy detailed story when he's in the bathroom with this like pound of weed. And the cops come in and they're barking, and there's that scene, like, just the editing in that, and the dialogue, and, like, the sound design. It's so good, dude. Such a good, one of the greatest debuts of all time, for sure. I mean, what can we say?
Yeah.
He really nailed it. He really hit a home run off the rip.
What's your 5th?
My 5th, which is going to be his penultimate film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, mine as well.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love watching that movie. I watch it, like, every time I watch it, it gets better and better every time. You just notice different things. Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. What more can I say? As a student of film and film history, especially that era, that transitional, like, era, it's really interesting. It really is made for me as, like, a film lover and someone who wants to know more about that time, too.
Yeah. There's so much, like, little details in this movie. They're so fascinating. It's a great hangout movie. It's probably the best production ever in a Tarantino movie. It's so good. Everything looks so clean, and it's, like, so stylized, and looks, like, so of the time. It's hard not to just be blown away by, like, the scope of this movie. The cast is fucking amazing. I know it's not for everyone. Some people find this movie really boring. Some people find this movie, like, you know, controversial. But for me personally, like, I thought it was like a fun little hangout movie.
Yeah, and like this movie is a hangout movie, but like the ending is so fucking cool and unexpected. You totally cannot see the ending coming at all. Like it's so fucking cool, and like this whole like this is his least violent film. Like my mom like has watched this movie. You know, she can't watch the other shit because that's like probably too disturbing for her. But this movie, like my mom can watch it. You don't like it's so like not violent at all. Like the like 90% of the movie, and then you just get like this like sort of like bloodbath, like this Manson like bloodbath that happens at the end, and it's so cool. And then he does another thing which makes it really unique is sort of his revisionist history, real history that he like turns into his own, which he's done before, but he does it again in this, and that's like a very unique Tarantino trait that I like really like, which makes him different and kind of creatively thinks outside the box and stuff. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What more can we say about it? Watch it a lot. What's your number 4 pick?
My number 4 pick is Kill Bill Volume 1.
Me too.
Yeah?
Kill Bill Volume 1, bro.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. The action's so good. Just like the way they tell the story, the sequences, the way they set up the characters. It's definitely Lady Snowblood influence mixed with like anime, mixed with like a western, and it's just pulled off so well. And like, God, this is like where he really got that style of like how violent his movies can be, because it's just like just a huge bloodbath, and it's almost comical, but it's so fucking cool that it just keeps it over the edge of comedy.
The battle scene works so well. The colors, the silhouettes, and then like the final little battle with Lucy Liu, and the editing and the sound effects, and just the Yakuza. The Yakuza stuff is the coolest thing in the whole story. The Yakuza stuff is like really cool, and then you get like the montage fighting. You get your fucking non-linear shit where it's like chapter 1, 2, like it's so cool. Like, and then she's crossing out her lists and stuff. And the thing is, like, the first person that she kills on her list is actually like at the end of the movie. You know, I love that. I love that shit. It's just a fun, badass movie. The soundtrack's great. Uma Thurman, badass. I love the mythology of the sword, the Hattori Hanzo sword that gets set up.
I love this. I love the flashbacks at the beginning in the chapel when they like shoot her, you know, and like it's black and white. Just that photography's so good.
And the credits and the whole hospital sequence, and that's my number 4 pick. What do you got on number 3, dude?
Getting down to it. My number 3 pick is Inglourious Basterds.
Dude, that's my number 3 pick too.
Yeah. Okay, we kind of nailed the end of this list, Yeah,
Inglourious Basterds. Or can we say it's a fucking masterpiece? A lot of Tarantino fans say that this is actually his best movie. I think it's interesting when we talk about it, because Tarantino fans say Inglourious Basterds is his best movie. General audiences say that like the critical reception say that Pulp Fiction is his best movie. He says that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his best movie. But Tarantino fans, people like, it seems like the kind of the rhetoric and the consensus is that Inglourious Basterds might actually be their favorite and like best movie. And I can give it the top spot any day. You know, it makes my top 3, but I can give it a top spot any day, and I can see why, because it's a masterpiece.
It is. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Like,
it's badass as fuck. It's just a badass. Anything you want in a Tarantino movie, it's in this, bro.
Christoph Waltz so good in it. Brad Pitt and the whole Basterds are so fucking good in it. The whole theater scene so fucking good in it, and that whole storyline. Like, dude, I could see this being top any day. Any day. For me personally, there are 2 that I just like a little bit more. It's a great movie. It's a fucking phenomenal masterpiece of a movie.
He just like fucking kills Hitler in it.
Yeah, he just fucking kills Hitler.
Yeah, like what? It's just like,
how could this not be like a top movie? You know?
No, just like he kills Hitler, and like we all know how Hitler died, unless you're a fucking moron. It's just funny, like what if you show Inglourious Basterds to someone who doesn't know like about Hitler's history? Like, like, oh, that's how Hitler was killed. Like, he does his own like an alternative history, which is the first time he does that, and it's so cool, so dope. The violence, you got the dialogue, you got the story, you got the set pieces, the bunker scene. like the bar scene.
Oh, the bar scene's so intense. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's all so clever. It's so nicely wove. The editing. I don't know how he didn't win Best Original Screenplay. He lost to the Hurt Locker, dude.
Catherine Bigelow. I give it to her, dude.
Mark Bull. Mark Bull.
Mark Bull?
Yeah.
The writer?
Yeah.
Hurt Locker, it's good.
It's good, but Inglourious Basterds didn't, like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, yeah. I mean, Christoph Waltz's standout breakthrough performance. He pretty much makes the whole movie himself as well. This came at an interesting time in Tarantino's career. The Kill Bills, I think the fans really fuck with them, but they weren't, like, super critically acclaimed. And then, you know, Kill Bill Volume 2 kind of dips and you kind of get Death Proof, which is, like, technically a flop, maybe not as critically acclaimed. But then, like, you're kind of like, okay, well, maybe Tarantino had this arc with, like, his first films and slowly goes down. And then when he made Inglourious Basterds, he was solidified as the GOAT.
Yeah.
It was like, no, this guy still had it in him.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Like make a fucking one of the greatest films ever, one of the greatest war films, adventure guys on a mission film. So that was both our third picks. What's your second pick?
My second pick is Django.
Yeah, my second pick is Django Unchained, and I think I can guess why we have it both at the same spot. Back in 2012, December 27th, when I was 16 years old, and you and me, my stepdad, and then your foreign exchange student, Conrad went to go see Django Unchained. It's probably the greatest theater experience I ever had in my life.
Really? Damn, yeah. It was really fun. It was really, really fun seeing that.
No, it really just hit. I was like a 16-year-old watching a movie like that about this black, like, slave turned cowboy.
Fucking badass, dude. Jamie Foxx is so fucking badass by the end of that movie.
No, I had never seen a movie like it before, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It really changed my whole perspective on films in general. Mm-hmm. And usually my favorite films are the ones that, like, change my perspective. Seeing Django Unchained for the first time, I realized what a director was. I realized really what a director could do and the control they had and how personalized it could be. The story, the violence, fucking catharsis, the ending, bro. You're, like, rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
At the end, dude. It's just so fucking cool.
Yeah. The whole story just feels like so badass, and just he's trying to get back his, like, wife, you know, and just, like, how he goes from, like, literally in chains, rags, to by the end, he's just so fucking badass and capable. No one's ever gonna fuck with him again, you know? Mm-hmm. It's funny, too. Like, the comedy in it is, like, really fucking funny.
Christoph Waltz, dude.
Christoph Waltz plays the same character he played in Inglourious Basterds, pretty much, except his morals are just completely opposite.
Yeah.
Is so good in this one, and you really, like, instead of, like you fucking hate him in Inglourious Basterds, in this one, you're just, like, so rooting for him. He's, like, the greatest dude ever to Django. Yeah, he's amazing, and no, he's such a snake in Inglourious Basterds, but then this one, he's, like, such a gentleman with principles, and he's this dope-ass bounty hunter. I just love the climax of Django Unchained. It's probably my favorite climax of all the Tarantino movies. Yeah. The shootout is just so fucking cool. Yeah. I remember just seeing it. I was blown away, dude. It blew me away. Yeah. And I think it's, like, my personal favorite. It's, like, my most personal film with him because it really got me into his filmography. And then also just discovery of films in general. Like, this is, like, an entry film to me becoming, like, a real student of cinema in general. Mm-hmm. And the power of cinema, what it can do. Mm-hmm. For, like, the impact it can have. Robert Richardson's photography. Oh, so good. I mean, he's so fucking good. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio. I hope they just, like, collab. Robert Richardson and him seem just, like, collab on everything since, and I hope they stay doing that. Yeah. And this did win the best original screenplay. It did. I guess there's nothing super innovative about the storytelling like he does with his other movies. Like, it's very straightforward, linear. Like, you get, like, kind of typical flashback stuff in there. But, like, other than that, it's very linear, like, the hero's journey type beat that he did. You know, it's still, like, my personal favorite, probably. That, and then the number one spot is, like, his most impactful films for me. Yeah. And our number one pick for both of us is the 1994 Palme d'Or winner Pulp Fiction, with John Travolta, Samuel Jackson, Bruce Willis, Uma Thurman, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Rosanna Arquette, Eric Stoltz, Ving Rhames, Steve Buscemi, Quentin Tarantino, Harvey Keitel, just to name a few. Keep going. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction it's my number one spot because it's so unique, like just eclectic, and draws you in, it keeps you interested. All the different storylines, 3 different storylines kind of woven together to make one movie. It never feels like they're trying to preach anything to you. It just feels like you're kind of witnessing all these characters' lives, and it's just so like snappy. The dialogue's so fucking good. Again, holds it all together. It's so condensed and so tightly done. I have to give it to it. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest films ever made. It might be like the greatest movie ever made. It's avant-garde as a piece of art.
That's what the charm comes in. Is it's so like French New Wave-esque.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's avant-garde. It's definitely a piece of art, and the way he does the non-linear storytelling, and it's so fresh and new. And I feel like it's so postmodern. Everything after that felt old. He just really like flips the switch, and the sort of this comedic violence that goes on. You know, so it's like a black comedy, crime drama, thriller. It's an impeccable. That's really like his masterpiece, magnum opus, and I'm pretty sure it was just an accident. It just happened to be that way. She was just trying to be Godard, dude, and unexpectedly just created a masterpiece. Greatest film of the '90s, probably. It is so highly regarded. People talk about it a lot, but it is one of the greatest pictures ever made. It's just so cutting edge, and the non-linear time, space, and memory aspects of it. Yeah, there's not really much else to say about it. I mean, it's Pulp Fiction. What can you say?
Yeah, that's our list. Got pretty similar at the end there. Kind of hit all the beats since the top 5. Kind of know what we like. We like all these movies.
Yeah, that's our list.